what I'd like to do is welcome to the stage an entrepreneur that has also crossed boundaries like ourselves at the Nordic Startup Awards in pursuit of entrepreneurship. Please welcome to the stage the chief conductor and the founder of StartupBus, Europe and worldwide, Elias Bizans.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
So Elias, what the hell is StartupBus all about?
Well, it started life as a joke. I said, let's get on a bus and launch a startup by the time we get off the bus. And then TechCrunch wrote about it, and 25 people joined me. And then the next year we said, let's do it again with 6 buses, 150 people. And then this year we did it with 300 people and 11 buses. We launched it in Europe last year, and then we did it again in Europe last week with 5 buses and 140 people. So we've had over 600 people go on this road trip that effectively what we're trying to do is build a community around the world where we transform people's lives that participate through this unique experience, and we create content that hopefully inspires people to become better entrepreneurs. And that, in essence, is what we try to do with StartupBus. It's really trying to develop people that can enable change in the world, and we can promote the entrepreneurship that's happening in communities. Like in America, Cleveland, Ohio, and Tampa, Florida are not cities that I knew about that had startups, and yet Baton Rouge, Louisiana is another example where they're now trying to prove themselves to the world as becoming the new startup centers. And in Europe, Macedonia I was just talking to someone, has a startup ecosystem, just like how the Nordics do, and no one knows about it. And so with the StartupBus annual competition, we have all these tech regions, the ability and a platform to prove themselves so they can send their best and show what is actually coming from those different regions.
So Elias, how the hell does it work? You get a bunch of people on a bus and they make something, or?
Yeah, so we have an application process, and for Europe, we had over 1,000 people apply in this last month. If you get accepted and you go through the interview process, you then get on this bus with a bunch of strangers, you pitch your ideas, and then 3 days later and 3,000 kilometers after, you conceive, build and launch a product, and effectively a startup, and you have to pitch it to high-profile investors and journalists and other entrepreneurs. And a lot of these people actually keep going on with it, but that's not our goal. Our goal is to sort of simulate the experience of a startup. When I first did the first StartupBus, I actually was waiting at a bus stop, and as I was there playing on my phone, I noticed this kid walk around, and as he walked around, he lifted his hand and he pointed a gun right to my head. And so what do you do when you're sitting there playing on your phone and there's a gun to your head? So I did what I guess I would do. I just stood up, I looked at him, I said a word that you might be familiar with. I don't know if I can say that right now, but I said...
Say it. It's fine.
Say it?
Yeah.
I looked at him and I said, "Fuck you, you fucking cunt."
What?
And so what happened is the guy with the gun who's pointing at my head went, shit, and he ran off. And it's a bit of a weird experience. They don't teach you that in school. But what happened is, over the years, I've kind of have observed crime when people have tried to roll me, and I've thought, why don't I do that? And why do they do that? And so when I had this instance of a guy pointing a gun to my head, I knew what to do instinctively. And that's what we're trying to do with StartupBus. We give you the instinct, the startup instinct. We give you an experience so that when you do a real startup one day, you know instinctively exactly what to do.
Right? Fantastic. What we want to do, Elias, is say thank you very much. We just had the Viking bus. For those that don't know, literally we got a load of Vikings, a load of us from Scandinavia. Of course, I'm not Scandinavian, but still, they went from here all the way through up to Aarhus, down all the way down to Germany, boo, then up to Paris. So during that journey, I have 3 people from Paris, I can tell at the front. So what happened is that during that journey, the guys pitched an idea, and then by the end of it, they had a working concept. So, in recognition of that, we would like to award you with a special prize of crossing boundaries across communities. So, StartupBus, thank you very, very much. StartupBus, everyone! Technically, we should have stage girls, but just...